Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality. The holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. But anyways, fans, thank you for listening, for staying tuned. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Cha-ching! And today we have a very, very special guest. He is my Sifu mentor and has one of the best wines ever made. And this is Alvin Rahul Cardona. How you doing, brother?
Good. Thank you, Yaakov. I just wanted to say thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. And I look forward to the interview and talking with you.
Anytime, Sifu. And for those who don't know, Sifu knows me since I was like in eighth grade. And he was in my life in high school, college, even after. And if it wasn't for Sifu, I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of struggling in high school. I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't know where to apply for college. I didn't have anybody to help me. And Sifu actually, graduated at Northeastern Illinois University. And he said, look, meet up with me Thursday. We'll go together to the college and we'll try to, get you started. I said, okay. So Sifu, took me in, and it was the coolest ride ever because you're with your master. So Sifu means master, and just it was just wild because like, oh, if anybody mess with us, they're messing with the wrong guy. You know what I'm saying? So we get there and we go to this building, and basically inside the building it was called Proyecto Palante, which is to help first generation students, and in English is Project Success. But they help so they help students. We get in there and we see this woman come in. Her name is Luvia Valentina, very nice Mexican woman. And she basically, took us to the office. And I never forgot this like yesterday. But Sifu said, this is she asked, who are you to David, right? Or Yaakov. And she goes, Sifu goes, that's my son. He played it off real smooth. She's like, oh, great. We got the family together. So we're sitting together. And she's asking a lot of questions. And she's like, so I see you brought everything, your transcript. You brought everything I needed. The only problem is your ACT is below than our requirement. That's how she said it. And I was like, dang, I'm not going to college. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing that popped in my head. I don't qualify. So she's like, look, you could try again. And then we could, work things out. So Sifu's like, don't worry, you're gonna pass. I need you to pass it. So Sifu was really willing to help me out, and he told me where I could take the other ACT classes. And I took it 4 times. That's how bad I'm a bad test taker. I went from 16, then to 17, then to 18, no, 17, I think 15, 16, and then 16 again. And then I finally went to 18. So I finally passed the requirement. So that's a good thing. So Sifu takes me back, you know what I'm saying, and we finally get it through. The sad part is I didn't get part of. I still didn't get into the Proyecto Palante, but I still got into Northeastern. And I remember what she said. She's like, David, you're the first student to actually apply to Northeastern this year. That's how she said it. And I was so happy I got in. And like I said, Sifu, thank you. I'll never forget that.
No,
And
no, you're welcome. But some people might not know what Sifu means. So Sifu is Chinese for Kung Fu master, but it also literally means father. So the fact when we went in and I said I was your father, I wasn't lying because I'm your Sifu, and in Chinese it means father. So it's your Kung Fu father. So it was the truth.
wow, I like that. I learned something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so Sifu's equivalent. So Sifu's in Chinese, and people who train like Japanese martial arts, they're sensei. So they have a sensei, and then in Korean for like Taekwondo and things, they have a sabunin. So, but the meaning is the same. It's just they're in different languages.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So So I'm proud to see that David went to college. I mean, it was a struggle, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there who they might be thinking, I want to go back to school, or I just don't know how to do it. Maybe I didn't have the right grades, but you can do it. It took me 7 years to graduate from Northeastern,
For
and
real?
yeah, because I got married young, right? So I had my daughter when I was 20, so I had to work, and it wasn't easy for me to go to school. So then I for a while I wasn't in school, but when I finally went back, I had to take a lot of night classes, and sometimes I had to go just one class per semester. But I always knew I wanted to graduate. And then watching my daughter grow up, I'm like, I have to give her an example. So I want to be her role model. I want her to see that I graduated. So a lot of times that was really funny because I'm like 20 years older than her. So it's not, I mean, we're far in age, but we're still close enough where we were able to do some homework together, which was funny because she was like in eighth grade or starting high school, and I'm still in college. So a lot of times we would sit in the living room, and she's doing her homework, and I was doing my homework.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah, but I was determined. And then after getting my bachelor's degree in Northeastern, then I went to Roosevelt University to get my master's in journalism.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was a road. It was challenging. I don't want to say difficult because you're able to do it, but it's definitely challenging. But I think if people, some of your listeners, like if you're thinking, oh, I want to go back to school, but I don't know if I could do it. It's going to take too long. You know what? Time's going to go by anyways. So you're better off taking classes, even if it's slowly, and it might take you, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. It doesn't matter because at the end of the time, the end of the road, right? Those 7 years are going to go by anyways. So at least you got your degree at the end. And so I encourage anybody, you want to make sure if you can go to school, and don't look at it like, oh, I'm going to go to school so I can get a better job. Obviously, people get better jobs from going to college, but college is going to make you a better person overall because you're going to be able to understand different things. You're going to be able to speak with different people. You're going to meet people from all walks of life. I love Northeastern Illinois University because it's one of the most diverse schools in the country, not just in Illinois. So
Yeah.
it's an incredible school. I mean, you graduated from there as well, and I'm sure you had a lot of really good experiences there.
Oh yes, Sifu. Yeah, yeah. That's an incredible story, and thank you for sharing that. And please, Sifu, tell us a little bit about your background because this is interesting too. You're Latino, and you're Jewish too, like me. So tell us a little bit more about you and where you grew up.
So a lot of people don't realize that there's Sephardic Jews. Sephardic Jews are Jews that originally came from Spain, 500 years ago. But the culture is still around, and we have another language called Ladino. Ladino is Old Spanish from like from the 1400s, 1500s, and it's mixed with so it's Old Spanish from around that time, mixed with Hebrew, and also with some Greek and Turkish. So that's another language called Ladino. And a lot of the Sephardic Jews, the word Sepharad in Hebrew means Spain. So the Sephardic Jews originally come from Spain, but during the Inquisition, they were kicked out of Spain, and they were sent pretty much all over the world. So a lot of those Jews went to Greece, Turkey. A lot of them came over to the New World because at that time, remember, Columbus was discovering or conquering or whatever you want to call it, coming to the Americas. And what a lot of people don't realize is that there was Jews with him. So and they also came into the New World. So there's a big Jewish communities also throughout all of Latin America. So I'm Mexican, Puerto Rican, and then but from Jewish descent. So we're Sephardic Jews. And at home we speak Spanish, we speak Hebrew, we pray in Hebrew, and obviously, of course, we speak English. being here. So, but we also have So like my dad, my daughter calls him Papu. Well, Papu is a Greek word, but it's so Sephardic Jews. So like even my rabbi, he's a Papu to his grandchildren. So the language is mixed. There's Hebrew in there. There's Old Spanish in there. There's some Turkish words in there. So it's interesting, especially if people don't realize. And what a lot of people don't realize is that during the Inquisition, a lot of Jews were forced to convert and become Christians, not by choice. They were forced. So in Hebrew, these Jews are called anusim. Anusim means the forced, or the people who were raped of their culture. And the belief is that a lot of nowadays, a lot of Hispanics actually have Jewish descent. They might have Jewish blood. So there might be, I don't know the exact number, but maybe like 9 out of 10 Hispanics actually have some Jewish descent. And a lot of the names like Gonzalez, Rodriguez, the ones that end with the ez sound, was actually a way for the Jews who were hidden to know that they were actually of Jewish descent. So they would call them los nuestros. And what they did is they changed the sound at the end of the names to mean haaretz. Haaretz means the land of Israel. So there's all kinds of research that people can do to discover if they have some kind of Jewish descent that goes back to Spain.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Sifu.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
That's great. That's great. And real quick, I'm gonna pick at your brain because this is a big deal. You guys don't understand. It was really hard to get Sifu to come in. And for those who, because I got my master. I didn't get my master's, but I took a year of taking master's class, and then we did talk about a lot about radio and like the history. And for those, this is gonna shock you guys, but Sifu's father and mother are one of the pioneers that started being the one of the earliest Latino radio hosts ever. So this is a big deal, Sifu. And if you could explain a little bit more about that, about your family history.
Sure. So my dad and my mom were both pioneers of Spanish language radio in Chicago. They when radio and television started, a lot of the programming was on AM. I don't know if you're definitely too young to remember. But
Yeah, I was.
when I was a kid, still a lot of times you would listen to a lot of stations on AM, and FM was just starting to become like big. Like it wasn't really big yet. So on AM, my dad and my mom were pioneers of Spanish language radio, and it's a really interesting story. What happened was my parents were married really young. So I think my mom and my dad, they were married like by the time they were like 15, not 15, I'm sorry, like 17, 18 years old that they were married. So they started a family young. So my dad was actually the janitor of the radio station. So he was the one that would clean. It was a Polish language station, and what happened was the owner ended up he passed away, and the wife didn't know what to do with the station. She was gonna sell the station. So my dad talked to her, and they made an arrangement. So they would go, instead of being a Polish station, now they were gonna do like half Polish, half Spanish, and he started the programming with her in that radio station, and then as it built up, he got a little more famous, started making a little bit of money. Then he did the same deal with the one of the television stations, and that's how he started growing. He did radio, television, and eventually he started with movie theater. So my name is Alvin because my dad owned the Alvin Theater in Chicago, on Chicago Avenue in Ashland. There used to be a theater there called the Alvin Theater. So when I was born, it was my dad's, and that's how I got the name Alvin. He also owned another theater called the Royal, and we have my brother Roy.
Wow.
So yeah, so it got to the point where he had radio, he had television, he had some movie theaters, he had radio, record shops. So he was one of the first pioneers of Hispanic businesses in Chicago.
Wow. And what was
Yeah.
the name of his radio? The one that he started?
So none of them exist anymore. He was on 1240 a.m. He was on 1590. And then back then, I don't remember the exact station that they were on back in the day.
Right.
Yes,
Wow.
my dad is Rafael Cardona, but his stage name was Don Canuto. So
Mm.
he was well known as Don Canuto, and then my mother has been on the radio still for like over 50 years. Her name is Linda Cardona, and then shortly after that, my uncle also went into the business. My uncle's super famous in the Hispanic community in Chicago. His name is Rahul Cardona.
Oh wow. Dang,
Yeah,
Sifu,
yeah.
you got big family.
Yeah, and the record stores are still around. My cousin owns them now. It's Disco City Records. So if people are familiar with Disco City, those were originally my dad's. He didn't actually start the record store. He bought it. It was actually started by a Mexican guy, and then my dad eventually bought the record store. And then as time went by, my cousin ended up owning, or still owns the record stores.
Oh wow.
So they're still around.
That's amazing, Sifu. Wow. Man, that's it's just and you know it's interesting. You got into your degree, communication, media, and theater. It's like you didn't want to leave your roots of your parents.
I grew up in the radio station, literally. Like I was always at the radio station. I was always behind the scenes when my dad and mom were filming anything on television. So it was just natural for me when I had to choose something in school. So originally, when I went to Northeastern, I thought I was going to do something with PE because of being, doing martial arts and I like running and everything physical. But the radio and communication part was natural for me. So that's what I was looking forward to. Once I was there, I started taking some class. I'm like, oh, this is definitely something I want to pursue. So my degree at Northeastern is communication, media, and theater. And then at Roosevelt University, I got my degree in broadcast journalism.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's crazy, Sifu. And now you're in my podcast. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, yeah,
It just
that's pretty
follows you.
cool. That's
You know what
cool.
I'm saying? Wow. Well, and then Sifu, because you have a very rich history, rich culture, and everything. I wanna for my audience to know. So you studied martial arts for many years. You also had your own TV program for a minute. I want you to like elaborate a little bit about how you got into the martial arts and your TV program.
Sure. So I started martial arts when I was 5. So I've been doing martial arts my whole life. I started when I was 5. Then I recently I've had the school for over 30 years. We closed last year because of COVID. So it's hard to run a school with with the pandemic going on. But I started when I was 5. I opened my school when I was 18, and started basically teaching and operating the school. My instructor, my first instructor, I did karate and kung fu. It's with Master Jose Zuniga, who he still has and operates his school. He's on Milwaukee Avenue and Addison in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then I started after many years of running my school. I had also trained in Eagle Claw Kung Fu. So Eagle Claw Kung Fu is a direct lineage from Grandmaster Livy Lau, and I started training Eagle Claw over 25 years ago, and that's the current style that I teach. It's Livy Lau Eagle Claw Kung Fu, or Northern Shaolin Eagle Claw Kung Fu, and then that's pretty much it. I've been teaching for many years. I've had all kinds of students from all different walks of life, which is makes it very interesting because no matter where you come from, when you get to the Kung Fu school, everybody's the same. So you get to work out with people from all different walks of life, but you take off your suit or your whatever you're wearing, you put on your martial arts uniform, and everybody's equal. Everybody's training together, sweating together, and having a good time, because you also make a lot of friends in the martial arts studio.
That's true. That's true, Sifu. I want to share actually a quick story about Kung Fu. So when I was young, Sifu, I'm not gonna lie, when there was times I'll come in and we'll do like, different techniques, and
Hmm.
there's one time I ain't gonna lie, I guess I did the technique wrong, but you hit me with that bamboo stick in my thigh, like, and I was like, oh. And you're like, fix it. I said, all right, I'm gonna fix it. And I messed up again. Bah! That's, oh, damn, I feel it. And this was actually in Chinatown when you used to have your school right there in Halston by
Hmm.
the orange line. And I was like, man, dude. And so I was like, man, I'm so sore. I would take the bus home and I was like, oh, I still feel it. And you're like, this is good for you. Don't worry, you're gonna get better. And so when I had my first, like, well, not my first, but when you had me training and I was getting to sparring, I remember one day I got kicked real bad in the leg, but I didn't feel it because I'm already used to it. So I was like, man, you know what? This doesn't hurt. And I was like, man, that's why Sifu's helping me. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel pain. But before, like, I'm not gonna lie, Sifu, when I was a little younger, I asked Sihi Franks. For those who don't know, Sihing is like a kung fu brother. And I call Frank, and Frank used to be my psychologist, so you always put me in the side. And I said, Frank, I don't think Sifu likes me. He goes, why you think he don't like me? Because I always get in trouble, man. I don't know what I did wrong. He said, look, I'm gonna tell you a secret, but you can't tell nobody. I said, okay, what is it? Sifu, I'm gonna tell you how he is. You may not get it, but I'm gonna tell you. If Sifu hard on you, it's because he likes you as a student. If he's too soft on you, he don't care. That's what he told me. So he said, it's good. He's hard on you. Keep doing it. I said, man, for real. He's like, yeah, that's how the culture is. The tougher they are, the more they like you. And ever since, I'm gonna be honest, Sifu, ever since seeing Frank told me that, when I went to class, I said, all right, I'm his favorite. I'm his favorite. Do it again. You know what I'm saying? That's how I used to think. But that's my little secret, Sifu. I ain't gonna lie. I used to think different. I was like, man, what's going on? I'm the worst student. You know what I'm saying? I used to think I was bad, but now it makes sense, Sifu. And also, like, I remember when I went to. Do you remember you used to be like one of the judges for the ICMA? No, the IMAC, International Chinese Martial Arts.
Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
you remember that, right? So we have one in the Hilton Hotel in Chicago, and I think it was one of the first ones to do it because usually it's outside the U.S. I mean, different parts of the states. So you told me, look, David, I need you to practice. You were hard on me, like after class. You're like, all right, you got to practice this because you're gonna do 2 demonstrations. I need you to do it down perfect. I said, all right, Sifu. And when I got there, right, here's the crazy part. My father actually worked at that Hilton Hotel, that same place we were gonna perform at that event I was gonna perform. And I told my dad, look, dad, you should come and support me. It's a big deal. My dad's like, yeah, yeah, I'll come after work. My dad never came. I'll be honest, he never came. But it's all right. But look, I brought my mom, I brought my cousin Pablo, and it was my turn to go. And Sifu, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous because the people that I was competing against, they had nunchucks, they had a sword, they had like the coolest weapons that I thought were awesome. And the weapon I used to demonstrate the weapon for was a bow staff. It's the most basic staff, like the basic weapon. And everybody looked at me, that's all he brought. And I was like, yeah, that's all I brought. And so I got the staff. I was the last one to go up. And I did my form. And I've been practicing every day, like probably 5 times a day. And when it was my turn, it was great to see my Sifu because I felt like he was the only one that was going to vote for me out of everybody. So it was so cool because I remember what you told me, Sifu. I never forgot. You're like, when you come in, you got to bow, right? Come in, bow, come in, but bow at every judge you see. So I went like this to each one, like that. And I never forgot Sifu. You see it? I remember. I remember. So, you're like, they're gonna pay attention to that because if you mess up, you're not gonna. It's gonna look bad on me and everybody. I said, okay, Sifu, all right. So I did the staff. I did all the whole thing. Sifu, I came in second place. My first silver medal, and I was the happiest guy. Then we had to do the weapon, the like regular form without weapons. And everybody had cool weapons. I mean, cool forms. I ain't gonna lie. They could do the flying butterfly kick. I couldn't do that at the time. But what I did was, I did the. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to get the name right. It's the Chu Chin form. Is that how you say it?
Teaching.
Du Chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's basically, if I'm not mistaken, Sifu, you're using all the animal, almost every animal style, right? When you do it, because you start with the book, you close, and then you have your peak on the bottom, right? That's the one, right?
Yeah, so Teaching comes from Qing Wu. Qing Wu is a martial arts association that has a set pattern of forms. So we're also part of Qing Wu. Did you see that movie Fearless
Yeah, with Jet Li.
with Jet Li? So that's Qing Wu. He plays the part of the creator of Qing Wu. Did you know Qing Wu Association in China? That's the whole movie's about the founder of Qing Wu, and that's who Jet Li is playing in the movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then did you ever? I don't know if you ever saw the movie Game. I don't know, what was it called? Fist of Fury with Bruce Lee.
Oh, that's a great movie, brother. Oh, they have it on Netflix now.
So Fist of Fury is the story of when the master of Qing Wu dies. When right, Bruce Lee goes, his master, and he's he died. He got poisoned.
Yeah.
That's the story of the founder of Qing Wu. So that whole movie is based on stories about Qing Wu, and we're Qing Wu. Our school is part of Qing Wu. So some of the styles that were taught in Qing Wu, one of them is Eagle Claw. So, but before you can learn, so in Qing Wu, the styles are Eagle Claw, Mantis, Tai Chi Chuan, Lohan, and Baksu Lo. The 5 styles that are taught in Qing Wu school. But before you can learn any of those styles, you have to learn the 10 basic forms. And Theo Chin is one of the Qing Wu forms.
Wow.
So that's the form. That's the form you did, and also the staff form you did is also Qing Wu.
Oh, for
So
real?
those are the basic forms from Qing Wu school.
Wow, that's amazing, Sifu. Because that form I did, I literally, when I finished, I came in third place. I had a bronze.
Yeah, it's okay. That's good.
That's good. That's a big deal. Because for those who
Yeah,
don't know, I was competing with people that came from Germany, from China, like
yeah, all over.
all over the world. So to have that, that's a big deal. And they gave me a big old certificate. Like it was really nice. I had like 3, but sad thing is, man, I lost all my stuff. But I still have my medals. I just don't have the certificate. That's the only thing I missed. So hopefully they can, print me another one, but I don't know if they can. But that was that was a really cool experience, Sifu. And Sifu, do you have any like stories that you could think of that were that like, because you know how in the movies there was always like, if you see Ip Man, how like the other masters of different schools will like try to compete with like the other schools. Did you ever got an experience where another master tried to mess with you just because you were just different, or he just didn't like you?
No, that's mostly just in the movies.
Oh.
Usually, most martial artists, no matter what style, they have respect for each other. So a lot of times, if they're real martial arts masters.
Yeah.
There's going to be friendship. There's going to be some understanding. Some you try to work together, and actually, a lot of my good friends they have martial arts studios. They're not the same style.
Yeah.
I have some guys that are karate style, some taekwondo people, and because the true message of martial arts isn't about fighting. It's about unity, about becoming a better person, about having health, about staying fit, and about protecting other people, not fighting with other people.
Yeah.
So what happens is a lot of time when people get when people get into martial arts, they might not know how to defend themselves, and they want to learn to protect themselves. So they might have a concept, or other people might think, "Oh, martial arts is just for fighting," and they want to learn how to fight. But what happens is when you come in and you start training and you realize you start learning all these different techniques and movements, then you realize, wait a minute, I could actually hurt someone with this. And the idea is not to hurt other people. The idea is to stop someone from hurting me. So I'm not looking for trouble, but I'm not going to let anybody hurt me. If I have to defend myself, I will. But I have enough confidence in myself where I can walk away. Whereas maybe when someone didn't train martial arts, they didn't have a lot of confidence. And if somebody was picking on them, they would get angry and they would want to fight with them. But what happens is you develop all this confidence in martial arts where you realize, well, this guy or girl, whoever it is, right, whoever is bothering you, realize, well, they're just idiots, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna waste my time and fight with them, right? So I'm gonna go this way. I can go the other way. Now, if they try to hurt me or they try to attack me, and I have no choice, of course I'm gonna defend myself. I'm not gonna let them hurt me.
Yeah.
But you develop enough confidence where I don't have to fight. I can go the other way. And then you're okay with going the other way because if you had to defend yourself, you're going to end up protecting yourself, and you might end up really hurting the other person, and you don't want to do that. You're better off just walking away.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you a interesting question, and this is something I've never asked you, Sifu. How do you feel? Because I'm gonna give you a little bit about what I think. How do you feel about the UFC? Do you feel like? Because for me, I'm gonna be honest, the guys fighting is so boring compared to the women fighting. When the women's are fighting, you can see it that they're going one, two, three, four, like moves, like right away. The guys, I feel like they're just, doing a little kick side, then just going walking around, like that. and you don't see it. And the only time I saw like really like there was a fast fight is when Khabib and McGregor fought. I thought that was a fast fight. But like if you see the other fights, I just don't like that because what you taught me, Sifu, I never forgot this, is that when you go fight, when you spar, whatever you got to do, you have to have at least 3 to 4 moves already like that. You don't have time to. I mean, you have to also test your opponent, right? What they can do, but that's always I remember. Pop, 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 pop. Like I just right away, like I move in or I move back, but like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna just go like this. You know what I'm saying? Going around like this, you know what I'm saying? But I want to hear your thoughts. I'm very curious.
So I'm gonna have to disappoint you because I don't actually watch them. So I like the I don't watch it, so I don't know. I can't really make a comment on it. And like I don't even know who participates or who fights. So and that I have to disappoint you because I can't comment because I really don't know. I don't watch it. So um, besides teaching martial arts and working, I don't have a whole lot of time. So the small amount of time that I do have, I try to spend with my daughter or my family. And the other times I'm working, like today you were calling me so we can do the interview, and I was out working because the other passion that I have in my life is wine.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so I know we haven't touched that, um, but I love wine. It's always been part of our culture. So when we have dinner, since I was a kid, we would have a little bit of wine. So I always grew up around wine, and I always had a love for wine. But I never really studied like a lot about wine. And then the last 15 or so years, I really got into wine, and I started my own wine company. So I'm a wine importer and distributor. So I think this part of my life you had already left. So I don't think you got to experience learning a lot about the other business that I have, which is wine, spirits, and beers. And so just getting back to your question. So during the day, I'm working, and sometimes I'm working like 10, 12 hours days. So I don't have a lot of time to watch the fights on TV.
You're okay, Sifu. And what's the name of your wine? Like your wine.
So I'm a importer for lots of different brands, and I distribute a lot of different brands of different kinds of wines. But then I also have my own wine. So they're called Cardona wines. So I have a Prosecco, which is a Cardona Prosecco. Prosecco is the sparkling, the bubbly wine from Italy.
Oh wow.
So it's like champagne style, but it's not a champagne because champagne can only come from Champagne in France.
Yeah.
And so Prosecco comes from Italy. And then I have my French wines, which are called Maison Cardona. Maison in French just means house or casa, so it's like House Cardona. And I have a red, a white. I have a rosé coming out now in the summer, and then a sweet wine, kind of like a dessert wine. And they all have the name. I actually have one here. I can show you just by luck. So this is our label. See, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, right there. Yep. Oh, a little closer, a little closer. Yeah.
Closer.
Right there. Yeah.
So this is our white wine. This is 85% Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon. So those are the grape varietals, and this is a delicious white wine from Bordeaux. So a lot of people they know Bordeaux, but they don't realize that there's actually a white Bordeaux. So this is a white Bordeaux.
Oh wow.
And then this one's a red one. So this is our red wine.
Oh, that one's nice. Okay.
And so the wine professionals, the somms, they're the guys like if you go to the restaurant and you ask for the wine menu, then they tell you, the somm will come over and ask you, do you need help picking out a wine?
Yeah.
You tell them, yeah, well, I kind of like this wine or that wine, and then they recommend them. So there's a competition once a year, and you can send a lot of the wineries, they send their wines there. So I sent these wines to the wine professionals to see what they thought about the wine, and we got the silver medal on both of them.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we got silver medal. And since I'm used to going to China and Hong Kong like for kung fu, and right now China is one of the biggest markets for wine. I put the wine in competition in China. So we not only go to Hong Kong and China to do martial arts and compete, I also sent the wine there to compete. And this one's from the China competition, China wine competition. We also got silver medal.
Wow.
Yeah, on both wines. So I'm really proud of it.
Dang. So you got for Chicago and Hong Kong, right?
This is for the United States.
Oh snap!
Yeah, the United States. And this is for all of China, not just Hong Kong. This is from China. So these are the big wine professionals, the wine masters. They scored them, so it means they like them. So so I was happy. It's like sending you guys to compete, right? So when you got second place and you got third place, I'm proud because I'm your Sifu.
Right.
So it's the same. These are my babies. So when they came back with medals, I was happy.
Wow, congrats, Sifu. That's amazing, man. I might have to try it because that looks. And where can my fans from Chicago, like, if they want to get one, like, where can they go? Like, what store or grocery store could they find
So,
it?
so, so in Chicago, we have it at some of the Cermak markets. Not all of them, but there's one on Pulaski and what is that? Pulaski and Diversey.
Yeah.
He has that Cermak market. He has a lot of the wines. There's one in Chinatown on Halsted by 31st Street. That Cermak market has our wines. There's another one in not Little Village in Pilsen.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
Cermak market in Pilsen, so he has the wines. There's one in Cicero on Cicero Avenue and Cermak.
Okay.
So he has our wines there, and then up in the northern suburbs, there's a place called Tony's Wine and Liquor. He's on in Skokie. He carries our wines. Then there's a famous, delicious restaurant called Tango. You know Tango Sud?
No, I've never been there.
So Tango Sud is an Italian, not Italian, I'm sorry, Argentinian restaurant that's a BYOB. But right next door is what's that one's called? Bodega Sur.
Okay.
Bodega Sur is also part of the same, like, well, not exactly the same menu. It's also Argentinian. It's the same owners, but in the Bodega Sud, they have a wine shop, so they carry they have our wines there, and it's also a restaurant, and you get some incredible Argentinian meats, and the owner there, she was also a kung fu student for many years.
For real?
Yeah. She was one of my students when she was a little girl. And
Wow.
she was one of the first ones that trained with me kung fu. So it's really cool because now we're both into wine, and she carries my wine. So when people come in, she always gives them like the story about us working together on the wine. And
Wow.
then in some of the grocery stores up north, there's one called Woodman's. It's
Uh-huh.
a huge store, and there's one in Buffalo Grove, and then there's one in Lakemore.
Oh wow.
And they carry on. And there's a lot of other places too. A lot of like mom and pop kind of shops, independent grocery stores that carry it. So I could always send you like a list if people are interested, or they can message you and you can let me know and I can tell them.
Yeah, send me a list and I can promote it and stuff. And if you can give me a bottle, I'll highly appreciate Seafood, and I'll drink it and show my fans like, yo, this stuff is really amazing. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And then I'll tag you, and then they're like, oh Sam, let me get it. And then boom, I got you connected. There you go. You work your magic. You work your magic, Seafood. Oh
So
man.
what's really cool too is one of the kung fu students is getting married at the end of this year,
Uh-huh.
and our wine's going to be at her wedding.
For real?
Yeah. She was excited. She said she wanted to have our wines at the wedding.
Is
So we're excited about that.
wow. So you made her a customized?
No. So the wines, they have to go through. So there's a lot of laws when it comes to wine and
Okay.
spirits. So I'm an importer and a distributor, but I can't sell directly to the public. So I supply the grocery stores, I supply restaurants, I supply those, and then anyone who wants it, they have to go to a retail outlet, to a retailer. So anyone who wants to buy the wines, they have to get it directly to there. I can only sell to people who have a liquor license.
Oh,
So it's very strict. So like in Las Vegas, I would have to find a distributor, someone who would be able to carry our wines in Las Vegas. In Chicago, I'm an importer and a distributor, so I'm able to sell directly to the grocery stores and things like that. But then people have to buy it directly from there. So I'm not allowed to sell it to the public.
got you,
So
got you.
they have it. It's very strict and very they have it. It's called a 3-tier system. They have it very regulated.
Oh wow! But you won't get in trouble if you give me a free wine because you're not selling it, right? Just if you gave me one of your wine, if you send me one of
So
the, you can
I can't. No, no, I
for
wouldn't be able
real
to. Yeah,
for
because there's all kinds of laws between how the wine goes from place to place. So it looks easy, kind of like right when you see there's wine everywhere, but it's very regulated. So it's really interesting because we're 50 states,
yeah.
right, for everything. But when it comes to wine, it's like having 50 different countries. Every state has its own regulations and its own rules.
Oh man,
So yeah, it's really controlled and really strict. So it would be against federal law for
for
me to
real,
send you. Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
real.
yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
maybe because it might
Oh, yeah.
break. That's what I thought it might break on the way. Like
No,
if
no,
you send it
no.
to FedEx, I thought it might break. So you're like David is gonna pop. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. I don't know. They have it. It's really regulated, so I wouldn't be able to send anything out. But next time you come to Chicago, um, I'll take you with me to the grocery store, and you can pick up a bottle, or we'll go to the restaurant, and we'll definitely have
All right, brother. I'm down. I'm down, Sifu. I'm really down. And Sifu, I want to ask you something. I'm actually curious about wine. Like, I don't really know anything about wine. I know there's red, there's white, but like, what can you recommend, or maybe teach me and my fans, like, if you're trying to start learning about wine, like, what are the basics to know? Like, I really don't. Like, I barely have any knowledge.
so wine is it's grape juice with
Right.
alcohol. So it doesn't have to be complicated. You have to find something that you like. So you want to. The best way is to try different types
Yeah.
and taste them, and then you can see I like this, I don't like that, and then try from different countries, not just one area. um, and you want to try the different. So the grapes, they're called varietals, right? They have different types of grapes. So you have you have a cab, you have pinot grigio, you have sauvignon blanc, you have different types, but you have to try them and see what it is that you like. Do you like a sweet wine? Do you like something not so sweet? Do you like something that they age in a barrel? It gives it different characteristics, and also where the wine is grown um, adds to the complexity of the wine. So, like if you get a wine that's grown on a flat land, it's going to have certain characteristics or flavors. If you get a wine that's grown on the mountain and the slope of the mountain, so all of that adds to the complexity of the wine. But wine isn't it doesn't have to be complicated. You have to find the wine that you like. So a lot of times people ask, what's the best wine? So the best wine is whatever you like, whatever you think is the best wine.
Yeah.
So there's different styles. I personally I love European wines. So I like French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese wines. I like the flavor. Um, and then obviously the California wines are incredible. There's a lot of really good wines from California, from Oregon, but they have different um, taste from the European wines. And then you have wines that are coming from New Zealand, from Australia. So they also have different characteristics.
Wow.
What do you like to drink?
So I'm
You
gonna be.
like red or white?
I like both. My white wine that I like is called Moscato 2016 or no 2011. I think it's called. It's the blue bottle, the one that's kosher. It has the OU on it.
Yeah, so that one's from Italy, and it's a so the grape is a Moscato grape. So that's a little it's a sweeter wine. So we also I have a Moscato from Spain, but in Spain it's called Muscatel. So, but it's the same grape. The one we have is naturally sweet, so there's no added sugar or anything to it. That one, the brand that I have is called Topico. So next time you come, definitely you have to try our Muscatel.
Okay, I'll try it, brother. And another question I want to ask you. This is something that I always forget. This I don't know how I forget, but it has to do with wine. So in the Jewish custom, I think is I don't know if it's for Pesach. It might be for Pesach, but I don't know for Passover. But there's a part where when you drink wine, I think it's like 3 or 4 cups. They always say you should lean on your left side. I think that's right.
So,
Or
yeah, it's for Passover.
Passover, right? What was it, Sifu? Is it the left side or the right?
Um, I don't. I think it's the left. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Yeah.
Because I heard this. They said that it's how the kings used to do it back in the days.
Well, it has to do with the story of Passover. The story of Passover is Moses. So if you know the story of Passover is the Jews, or back then it's the Hebrews, were leaving Egypt, but they were slaves in Egypt. The Jews, the Hebrews at the time, were slaves in Egypt, and Moses had a fight with the Pharaoh to let. There's even a song, "Let my people go." So the Pharaoh would let the Hebrews leave Egypt. So the idea now is that you're free people, you're free, so you can lean, you can relax, and you can enjoy your food, your wine. So during Passover, we're going from slavery to freedom. So when you're celebrating the Passover meal, that's what you're remembering, that in Egypt we were slaves, but now we're free men. So you lean like the kings used to lean, or the free people would lean, and you
Yeah.
can relax and enjoy your meal.
And I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that if you lean right to the left, I think the left, I think you're right, the left, that it's actually good for the body when you drink. I don't know if that's true.
I'm sure there's something to it. Yeah,
I'm not 100%. Oh man, it's too funny. Wow,
it's
Sifu.
good. It's good because you're not so dizzy anymore from all the wine.
Yeah, yeah, right, right. Oh man, Sifu, I'm so happy, man. This means so much that you were here. Um, I want to thank you because I know you're a busy guy. This is a big deal, and real quick, I'm gonna wrap it up. This is the outlet to reality. The holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Cha-ching! And remember, guys, I'm at IG, the outlet to reality. Snapchat, take one, pass it. And thank you, guys. And Sifu, any last advice you can share to young people that want to start maybe a business, maybe start their own martial arts school? Any advice?
Just do it. Don't worry. If there's something you're passionate about, go for it, because life is short. Life goes by fast, and the last thing you want to do is have regrets. So if you have a passion for something, just you have to find the way, and go for it, and the doors are going to open for you. So don't resist, and don't let anybody talk you out of it. If you have to believe in yourself. You have to have the courage to believe in yourself, and there's enough people out there that are going to always talk bad about you, or they're not going to like you. So you don't talk bad about yourself. You don't be one of the people that say, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it," or talk negative about you, because negativity. There's a lot of people out there. So you just got to stay positive, stay focused, and follow your dreams. You have to follow your dreams. You have to do your things. And if you want to open up a martial arts studio, go for it. If you want to, but also be prepared, right? Be prepared for whatever you want to do. Do your research, do your homework. You want to succeed, so you want to be as prepared as you can, and then just move forward. But you got to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you?
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank